Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello. My name is Ahmad Alif Ashraf bin Azwan. My group members are Aizuddin bin Sharifuddin, Chan Junwei and Min Chi. We will present about sand casting. The objective of this casting are to observe the basic process of sand casting, to get a hands-on experience on metal casting through the process sand casting, to apply the knowledge of metal casting into making useful products through the process of sand casting.
Hello everyone, my name is Min Chi. So now I will present the introduction for sand casting. So what is sand casting? Sand casting is a metal process characterized by using sand as the mold material. For this project, we use the green sand which contains sand, clay and water with the ratio of 7:3:1 as the mold material. Sand casting is the oldest technique and it is most commonly used because it is inexpensive and the process is relatively simple. Sand casting does not have any limit to size, shape, or weight of cast parts, but it requires a pattern which defines the external shape of the cast part. Sand casting is one of the expandable mold casting where the mold will be destroyed in order to remove the finished casting. That's all from me, thank you.
Tools that we use is molding sand, pattern, parting agent, which is calcium carbonate powder and sodium silicate powder, casting flask, molders and shovel, foundry ladles, strike of bar, hand rammer, molders, slicks, bellow, crucible furnace, metal pickup tongs, sprue, ladle, mallet, and metals we use aluminium. As for safety wear, we need to use eyeglass, face shield, heat-resistant gloves, knee leggings, and bib-type aprons.
Hello, my name is Chan Junwei with matrix number AA200698. Now I'm going to explain about the procedure of sand casting. For your information, there are 6 main steps of sand casting. Let's go through one by one. The first step is place a mold pattern in sand. When I say place mold pattern in sand, which means there are 2 things that we need to focus on, which is pattern and also sand. For patterns, which means we need to choose a pattern that we are going to apply in the sand casting process. For sand, which means we need to prepare our molding sand, which is green sand. The ingredients were poured into the mixer machine with a mix ratio of 7:3:1, where 7 is sand, 3 is clay, and 1 is water. Then we need to spread the parting agent, which is baking powder, on the pattern. Afterward, we need to pour the green sand into the flask by sieving it on the drag, which is the bottom part, to avoid big particles from entering the flask. Now let's proceed to step 2, setting up the gating system. In this step, we are going to pack the pattern into the sand mold of the drag part and ram it hard to flatten the surface of the sand. Next, we need to turn over the drag and repeat step 1 for the cook, which is the upper part, by sieving with the sprue pin insert. Repeat the sieving and pressing process until the sand achieves a desired rigidity. Flatten the surface by using strike of bar and then make a pouring resin channel to the sprue. Step 3, remove the mold pattern. The sprue and pattern are removed when the mold is set up, and this step will help us to form a mold cavity. Step 4, we need to pour the molten metal into the mold cavity. The metal we apply is aluminum. By using a hand shackle, the molten aluminum is being poured into the pouring basins until it fills the entire fabricated cavity. Step 5, wait for metal to cool. In this step, we will give time for around 30 minutes for the molten aluminum to solidify inside the cavity. The solidified cavity from the mold is removed after the temperature dropped to a hand handling condition. Step 6, break open mold to remove the metal casting. After the molten aluminum is hardened, the cork flask is removed. We will drag the casting out from the flask. The casting will be cleaned and the sprue and runner will be cut off. That's all from me. Thank you.
For observation, there are 3 defects, which is open holes, cuts and washes, and fusion defect. For open holes, these blowholes appear on the surface of the cast. It's caused by gas porosity, which is air trap while metal is put into the mold during casting. For cuts and washes are areas of excess metal. Cuts and washes caused by molten metal flowing at a high velocity. And lastly, for fusion defect, it appears as a thin crust with a brittle, glassy appearance firmly added to the casting. Fusion occurs when sand grains fuse with molten metal.
My name is Aizuddin bin Sarifuddin. I will present about experiment discussion. First, permanent mold casting generally possesses a better surface finish, closer dimension tolerance, more uniform mechanical properties, and more sound thin walled sections than sand casting. However, sand casting generally will be more intricate shapes, larger overall size, and lower in cost than permanent mold casting. Secondly, is about how to prevent defects. First, open holes. To prevent this defect, we must ensure that the molding sand is dry and permeable to avoid open holes in the form. Second, cuts and washes. To avoid this defect, we must properly design the gate system, improve mold and core strength, and finally add additional binders to the facing and core sand. Next, fusion defect. Reducing the pouring temperature of the molten metal will help prevent this defect. Third is about permeability and collapsibility. Permeability is determined by the size and form of the sand grains. This term in casting refers to the capacity of trapped gas to escape through the sand. With high sand permeability, the porosity of the surface casting product can be minimized. Collapsibility refers to the sand's capacity to compress collapse. This measurement is used to compress the sand more accurate so that we can obtain a flawless form of mold. That's all from me. Thank you.
So now I will present the conclusion for sand casting. In conclusion, we know that sand casting is the oldest technique and it is the most commonly used method. We have learned some new techniques on the sand casting process. Besides, we noticed that the knowledge of casting defects and causes is essential to managing the casting quality. For example, the preparation and the bonding of the green sand is one of the crucial steps. Eventually, we complete our project successfully with the help of our lecturer and our fellow classmates. In a nutshell, this project will be easier if we do research before the class and follow the lecturer's instructions. Hence, we also get the idea and experience to improve the upcoming sand casting process. That's all from our group. Thank you.